Man, I always love catching up with our next guest. We've had so many conversations over the years. This is the first time we chat with him being a member of the Chicago Bulls as he gets ready for the start of the season next week. He is, of course, the pride of Mount St. Joe and a former Terp. Mr. Sticks himself, Jalen Smith, back with us on GCR. Jalen, it's Glenn in Baltimore. Always great to catch up, man. Thank you for taking the time for us.
Oh, no problem. It's always good to talk to y'all.
Man, it's great to chat with you, dude. The Chicago, I guess, take me through. I know part of it is you go where you're wanted, right? Like I understand that's how the business works, but you're a guy that a lot of teams would want to have around. What was it about Chicago that made that so appealing to you, and why are you now a Chicago Bull?
Uh, Pretty much it was just opportunity. Obviously the dollar sign amount is always good, but at the end of the day, it's all about opportunity to be able to build on your future. And I felt as though Chicago was the one they've been wanting me for years. So I felt as though that it was a perfect place for me to grow as a person and as a basketball player.
Were they involved in like trade talks with you in the past? Is when you say they were interested in you for years, like it sounds like that's something that you knew from the past.
Yeah, there was always interest, but at the end of the day, that was all my agents and stuff like
Yeah,
that. I
sure,
didn't
I
really
get it.
focus on that part.
I get it. Yeah, they're not like calling you in the middle of a game, like, "Hey, man,"
Yeah, no.
anything like that. What's it like? I know you're used to this at this point. This is a business, but what's it been like getting situated, getting assimilated, and obviously, like, I guess probably the biggest market that you've ever been in before.
Yeah, it was pretty much easy. It's only like an hour and 30 drive from Indiana, so and I didn't really have much stuff there anyway. But overall, it's been fun. I grew up with a lot of guys on the team, playing with them through AAU and in college, and obviously, there's a couple of guys here that I'm still learning and just getting adjusted to it. But overall, it's an amazing place. Chicago is one of the top cities
Yep.
in the world, and I'm just happy to be here.
Chicago in the spring is really cool too, man. That'll be a cool thing for you.
Oh yeah.
Jalen, like at this point in your career, obviously you've proven a ton, and you've played so many big minutes and so many big games, and yet you're everybody views you in the prism of having been a really high draft pick. Do you feel like you still have more to prove about what it is that you're capable of doing, and that opportunity presents itself there in Chicago?
Oh yeah, for sure. Every time I step on the court, I feel as though there's a lot more I got to prove. Every year is different, and to get to where I want to be and to get to the player that I want to become, every time I step on the court, I got to play like I got something to prove.
Can I ask this question? I think you'll understand where I'm going. One of the things that we know about you is how nice of a guy you are, right? And like every now and then, and we of course here at Maryland remember the Indiana game that'll live in infamy for eternity. But like, have you
Yeah.
found yourself as a pro, like having to learn to be more of a jerk? And I hope you understand like the way that I'm asking that, not as a person, but like on the basketball floor. Is that something that you've had to like have more of a menace come out over the years?
Oh yeah, for sure. Obviously, a lot of people know me as a laid back person,
Right.
and that's just who I am. That's how I was always. That's how I always been. But as you step out onto the court, you're playing a grown man's game now. One of the best leagues in the world. So like you gotta have that like you said that jerk attitude and that assertiveness to yourself while you're on the court.
Have you always been like that? Did we just not know because we don't, none of us went up against you in basketball? Have you always been like that as an athlete? We're so used to being like the nicest human being on the face of the planet away from the floor.
Yeah, so that's just how I always been.
Yeah.
Growing up, I always was the quiet person, So at the end of the day, basketball was just that outlet for me to like be able to express myself more. But like nothing, I never been like one of those type of players. I just always been just a person that just loved playing the game.
I appreciate that. Jalen Smith is with us as he gets ready for his first season with the Chicago Bulls. Jalen, I wanted to ask you about Baltimore guys because on our new print issue of Press Box, we put Juju and Derik Queen are on the cover. I wonder,
Mm-hmm.
from your experience and you doing it with Daryl, right? Like how much help,
Yeah.
how much that means for someone like Derik to come in and have Juju there, who he was teammates with at St. Francis for a little bit before. Like how great was that for you, for the two of you, and how much do you think that might help Derik and Juju this season? Those guys being together.
I think it's gonna help him a lot because obviously me and Daryl we had a close bond. Daryl's pretty much my big brother, Playing with him in Mount St. Joe, and then him being one of the main reasons why I went to Maryland.
Yeah.
Just being able to have him in my corner, because I know that when I play with him, it's like I feel as though I could do anything. And him is the same way. But I feel as though that them being able to play with each other in high school is just going to help with that chemistry in college. Just being able to know each other's strengths and weaknesses and able to be able to build upon it.
Derik comes in a situation kind of similar to you. I mean, you never, left the area. Derik did, but like for a Baltimore guy that's so highly regarded to be playing at Maryland, there's an awful lot of people that you're supposed to be the great hope, right, for the area, for the
Mm-hmm.
region. And I know you had to deal with that. What is it like dealing with that? And have you attempted to reach out to Derik at all? Maybe give him a word about going through that?
Um, no, not really, because everybody's situation is different.
Sure.
And I feel as though that him being able to stay in the city and go out and still have the same success, I can't attest to that because I was in the city the whole
True.
time. So, here and there, I try to just tell him just play basketball, leave all the outside noise alone and just focus on yourself. But there's not really much pressure to it, because obviously you got a home crowd rooting for you.
It's true.
At the end of the day, they expect so much high from you because not many people from Baltimore make it out in sports like that, and for him to be in that position, he's gonna have a lot of noise, but I feel as though he's gonna be able to handle it well.
How long have you? It's funny. Have you known Derik for a long time?
Uh, Personally, I don't. I always heard of him.
Okay.
While because I think 4 or 5 years younger than me.
Yeah.
So
Have you do you know enough about his game to be excited about what it is that he's going to do in College Park this season?
oh yeah, a lot of coaches hit me up on him a lot. You got a lot of NBA personnel talking about him as well. So I feel as though that he has the tools to get to where he want to go. He just got to be able to, put in that work in order to achieve it.
No doubt about it. And obviously, that story of him and Juju together, that's a really cool thing. And hopefully will
Yeah.
be as fruitful. Maybe there will be conference championships for those guys, like what you and Derik got to experience together. Jalen, are people overlooking the Bulls too much right now? You know how this goes, right? It's been a slog. Do you feel like maybe and if they are, why? Why do you feel like teams or people around the league don't know how good the Bulls are capable of being?
That's always just speculation. Everybody's always gonna look down on somebody, but at the end of the day, we just gotta go out and play our game and our brand of basketball. We're not really too much worried about the outside noise, but instead we're just focusing on ourselves and getting better each and every day, and just trying to put our best foot forward and take it one game at a time.
The thing the other day with Lonzo getting able to come back and play. I know you guys haven't been teammates for very long, but what did that mean to you? It felt like it was a really sort of powerful thing.
Oh yeah, it was amazing. He's been working for us for so long. Being outside of basketball and not being able to do the thing that you love for 2+ years, it's always tough, and especially for it to be in this caliber of a league, to be able to come back and still have the same success that he had last night. It was amazing to be able to watch.
That's cool, man. That is really cool. All right, so the important questions. Obviously you are far too young to have been watching Michael Jordan in that era of Chicago Bulls basketball. But I'm assuming that you did watch The Last Dance. Does that I don't obviously Maryland was an Under Armour school, but does any of that resonate with you, Jordan and Nike, and did you feel that at all when you walk into the home locker room, the power of what the Bulls brand means?
Oh yeah, you experience it every day. His name is pretty much plastered all over
Right.
United Center in our practice facility. So the history, and how much he meant to Chicago and how much he helped Chicago build his brand of basketball. And obviously it's a lot to live up to, but I feel as though that us working hard every day to try to achieve our goals individually and collectively is just going to help us to push forward even more.
You didn't go over and try to play throwing quarters against the wall. You're not trying to recreate any of Michael Jordan's stuff, are you?
Nah, we can't do that. We might get fined now.
All right. I mean, you don't have to bet on it, I guess. You can just have fun. Michael was a different animal, obviously.
Yeah, for sure.
Michael was a different animal, that's for sure. What else is going on in your world, man? Get me caught up. What was the off season like? What are beyond basketball? What else has been going on with you?
Pretty much, it's been a quiet time. I got married in July.
Congratulations!
With my high school sweetheart.
Oh, that's
thank
awesome,
you, appreciate
man.
it.
That's so cool.
Yeah. So pretty much it's that's probably been the highlight of the summer outside of signing to the Bulls, you know.
Yeah.
But I mean, pretty much it's just been here in Chicago for the past what three 3 to 5 months, just working out and getting accustomed to the team.
Bro, you better say that's the highlight of the summer. You better say that.
For sure.
You're gonna end up in an awful lot of trouble. That's awesome, man. Did you guys do it? Did you guys do it back here, or did you go like a
Oh yeah,
destination
we
one?
did it. Yeah, we did it on the harbor.
Oh man, how cool is that, dude? Like,
Yeah, it was amazing.
what a cool. Imagine going back and telling, like, 10-year-old Jalen Smith that you're gonna be this deep into your NBA career and marrying your high school sweetheart on the Baltimore Harbor. Like, what would you have said then?
Yeah. He probably wouldn't have believed it. He probably just laughed and just said, "Okay."
Man, that is so cool, dude. I am so happy for you. I'm actually now, I
Thank
just
you.
wandered over to your Instagram and I'm looking at pictures. That's awesome, man. That's so cool.
Yeah.
At the
Thank you.
Jalen_Smith on Instagram is, as always, how you can follow him. Jalen, so happy for you. Can't wait to see what it is that you're going to do out there in Chicago. Really appreciate you taking the time. Hopefully, like, you'll be bumping into Maryland basketball games out in the Midwest at some point. Hopefully they'll work
Yeah,
out.
yeah. It's Big Ten country out here, so
No
I
doubt.
should be able to catch a lot of them.
Jalen, thank you as always for taking the time for us, man. We really appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you.